Hello everyone. Guess what's going on? Cyberpunk 2077 is here. I just loaded the game. I'm in Edmonton, so in my local time was supposed... Oh yeah!
Yesterday's body count lottery rounded out to a solid and sturdy 30. 10 out of Haywood. Thanks to unabated gang wars. One officer down, so I guess you're all screwed. Cause the NCPD will not let that go.
Oh my god, I'm freaking out.
In Santo Domingo. Net runners are at it again.
Okay, I'm gonna skip this. Okay. So, I'm in Edmonton, and in my local time it was supposed to be released at 5, and I got in at 5:18. There was some issue with downloading a 200 megabyte Shuri gameplay. Yes, I do. Let me just go ahead and reduce the volume a bit. Where's sound? Master audio. Okay, that's better. So in this video I'm not going to be showing much of a gameplay. I'm just going to check how my RTX 3080 is going to hold up against Cyberpunk 2077. There was some stuff going on around ray tracing giving around 11 FPS, and people were saying like the reviewers did not get the actual game, so I'm going to only be checking the performance of RTX 3080 MSI TUF against Cyberpunk 2077, and right after I'm gonna go ahead, play the game, and post the gameplay. Alright, so gameplay doesn't matter. Graphics, ray tracing, ultra. Let's start with the ultra. Everything maxed out. Yep, everything is maxed out. Screen space, reflection quality, not sure what that is. Okay, the audio is still a bit too much, I think, because we're not doing the gameplay. Okay, everything is at ultra. Ray tracing, lightning. Psycho, what is that? This setting requires a DXR ready graphic card. Okay, DLSS auto. I think we're gonna have to put it for performance at some point, but let's turn it off. Let's see how it's gonna work without any ray tracing. Video. It's gonna be at 4K. I'm gonna make it full screen. 500 FPS for the menu. Okay, that's not realistic. That doesn't mean anything. Okay, I think that's it. Putting everything... Oh, I'm gonna turn VSync on. My monitor max out at 64 FPS, so we're not gonna be reaching that with 4K and no DLSS and ray tracing on, but we're just gonna be checking things. Texture quality, that's high. Yeah, everything seems to be okay. So, let's go ahead. I don't care. I'm not gonna be listening to anything, doing anything. Oh, I thought there was going to be 4 stats. I just watched a video that was showing 4 of them. This one was on the left, I think. Okay, it does... Oh, the last one is kind of missing. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna be playing this saved game, so I'm just gonna go ahead and choose a random stuff. Select. I'm just happy with this. Like, just let me go ahead and play the game, would ya? Rotate, select. Buddy, I'm okay with that, okay? I'm gonna spend another whole video figuring this thing out. Voice tone. Okay, there we go. Next. Just let me go. Unspent attributes points will be lost and will not carry over into the game. Are you sure? Let's just get rid of that. Next. Booting. Bio monitor. Again, I couldn't care any less. So let's just go ahead. I just want to open... I'm not gonna even show any cutscenes. If there's anything that comes up, I'm gonna straight skip them. Whoa, there we go, 17 FPS. It's still on the loading. 15. Let me see if I can get the graph up. Wow, 15 FPS. It's looking so bad.
A little anesthesia.
Can I skip this, please? It is looking absolutely terrible. Okay. I think that's enough for us to just check how it's looking. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna do one other thing. So let's go ahead and turn DLSS to performance. NVIDIA DLSS uses AI superposition to provide the highest possible frame rate at maximum graphic. DLSS requires NVIDIA, yeah, blah blah. I know that already. Okay. Holy, that brought us back to, hey, big guy, to around 37 FPS. Okay, what do you want me to do? F-set broken nose. Uh-oh. Ow.
Motherfucker. Everything chill, mano? Some bastard tried to mug me. I handled it.
Okay.
Oh, local guy.
I love
Really think somebody local will try to
DLSS. Well, I don't see much of a reflection right now.
Got a problem. Serious this time.
It doesn't really look that good at 4K. I'm a tiny bit disappointed. The texture is not looking like 4K. Let me see. Okay. Game, controls, graphics, film, chromatic aberration, don't know what that is. Let me overload my GPU so you can see the game. I'm gonna let the GPU draw as much as power it wants. Let me see if that changes anything. Not really. It's still at close to 40 FPS. So that's not going to change anything yet, at least. I'm gonna... Do we have any blur motion? Those are usually pretty heavy. Okay, ray tracing, I'm gonna put it to ultra instead of psycho. And let me see what we have here. Local shadow quality. Let's see just with that how much it changes. Okay, 5-6 FPS. That is almost a 10%. Even if I go crazy with the camera to grab different areas.
Find yourself a hole, sounds like.
Yeah, 45, it's doable.
Knew I could count on you.
I mean, I would be happy to play at 40 FPS with everything maxed out. Okay. Oh, skip ahead. Skip ahead, skip ahead, skip ahead. Okay. Now, let's see what else we can tweak a bit. Local shadow mesh quality, motion blur. That's something that it's not really that useful. You can literally turn it off altogether. Let me just see if that changes anything. Interesting.
So you're gonna help me out, V?
It's jumping up and down a lot. And it's not a busy scene, so that's a bit concerning. I would expect an area like this. Well, true, it has many characters, it's a busy place, but you know, there's not much motion. Oh, look at that TV, not showing nice things, I guess. Okay. It kind of maxed out at 50 FPS and motion blur didn't do anything. So I guess we can put it back here. I don't really know what these do. A full screen effect that imitates image grain on... I think this is something that people also usually turn off. That's not really that much of a big deal. What does this do? An opaque angle. I think we can go to 8. Still no change. Interesting.
I'll talk to Kirk.
Okay, yeah. Give me something that I can move around.
He's a good boy. He just lacks direction. Demons walk with him. They tear like his.
Hey, could you please let me out here? This is an busy place. You can see that FPS started going up when I moved away from the main area.
Hey, Kirk. V.
Hey, I'm just gonna skip ahead again. I'm not playing game. I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time. Just let me go, please. Just let me go. Still capping at 50 FPS. Ooh, look at that car. Put down paper, not sure I can pull it off. Okay.
How am I
Not sure what the hell is going on here. But take device agreed. Okay, awesome. Let me out of here, please. Leave the bar. That's it. That's what I want to hear. 55. It's hitting 55, so I'm guessing that's kind of... Oh, looking good. Looking good.
Fat ass motherfucker.
What? Hey, why do I see no goddamn lemons?
Okay. So this is a more... Wow, look at that. This is what I love about ray tracing. It's... Look at those purple color that's coming from that screen. It just looks absolutely... Look, this is looking gorgeous. It makes like... Look, you can see clear reflection of that guy, that leg, and that bit of water, and here, and right behind. So, okay, so we're at 50, I would say. It does jump around 54, but that's okay. Let's see if we can get it to 60 without local shadow quality, local shadow mesh quality. Ooh. This is something that you can go down a bit. Not much of a gain really. 50, yeah, it's still going around 54. Maybe it did gain 1-2 FPS, I would say, which is within the uncertainty of tweaking these stuff. Okay. Max dynamic. I'm looking also at my CPU, and it's using quite a few cores, but not the 12 cores. I'm on 5600X, AMD Ryzen 5600X, so yeah, max the amount of simultaneously illuminated dynamic details. This should have a pretty big effect. No? Are you even taking these changes into account, really? Yeah, you see, this is more of a... This is more realistic because it's going to be in Night City. It's going to be in crowded areas. So, yeah, this is 50 FPS. It's totally doable. Like, 50 FPS is more than enough. Yeah, 60 would be cooler, I think. But it's not going to be that noticeable. So if you're planning on getting an RTX 3080, you should be pretty okay. And you can just do ray tracing to medium and it definitely should hit 60 FPS. Seriously? Still at 50? I don't see much of a change. Okay, I'm a bit concerned that changing the settings is not really taking into effect. It is saved, so I'm not sure why it's not changing anything. Gonna put DLSS to auto. This is getting into weird territories that changing stuff. Okay, let me see. Ray tracing ultra. Let's just use the presets it has. Okay. It's less than 50. Now, ray tracing medium. It's gonna go to 50. It does hit 60, but it's more of a 55-ish when you get to more crowded areas. It's not really a constant 60 FPS, you know. It's jumping up and down. Ultra, I'm guessing that this is with no ray tracing. Yeah, ray tracing is off. You better hit 60 FPS. Oh, it has DLSS off. That's, I'm guessing, why it's not looking good at all. Yeah, DLSS. Put the DLSS back on and you get... Yeah, now it's... Let me turn off VSync so we can actually see the actual FPS of the game. Where did I turn? Ray tracing? Nope, not that one. VSync. Where is VSync? Why am I not seeing the VSync? Da da da. Skipping dialogue. It should be in graphics, but I'm not seeing. Okay, field of view, film grain. Seriously? Where's VSync? Oh, cloud quality. That's also something you can kind of tweak around, but you can actually put it back to ultra. Level of detail. That's something in games graphics. That would probably something that you don't really want to change that. Oh, okay, there we go. VSync is here. Apply. Okay, so with DLSS, no ray tracing, Ultra 4K, you get 70 FPS. You know, you won't be just walking around looking at stuff to get that 80 FPS. You probably are running around at more crowded areas and you would be getting a 70 FPS easy, but you want that DLSS on. Like, that's a great thing to have. I'm not sure how AMD is gonna hold up against this game, given that they don't have a DLSS. Okay, so we went to... Let's go back to Ultra Ray Tracing and start tweaking things down. So this was giving us around, yeah, 40... 45. We'll probably in more crowded areas hit 40. I'm trying to get that to close to 50-55. So this I can go a bit down. Cloud quality I can go a bit down. Space reflection determines the quality of reflection in the game. Higher quality corresponds to improved image details and smoothness. Okay. Substance scattering determines the quality of lightning on human skin. This is something I would like to have. Ambient screen, space ambient produces natural shadows in areas where regular shadow maps lack precision. Okay, let's just put that into medium. I'm not sure if it's gonna affect us right away. Ray tracing ultra. Let's skip it at ultra. And let's see how it's gonna change. No, not hitting. It seems that ultra is a bit overkill. But the game still does not look that good at 4K. I'm a tiny bit not happy. I mean, it could... Yeah, just... Yeah, with medium you probably can get close to 50. I'm gonna go back so I can see the... Now you can see that with medium, that shadow is gone. Let's put it back to, for example, the Psycho. Where's the light source on this thing? Okay, the shadow is there it seems, so...
We're not finished.
Let's take a look at this screen. And go back and... I'm gonna turn off motion blur. And put DLSS to... Let's see what off does. No, something is wrong with this game. It's skipping the previous settings. It is affecting the FPS. It went back to like plus 60. But this reflection is not changing. So that's something weird about the game. That's not normal.
I haven't finished.
This is not something that you would see in a normal game. This is ray tracing. So, yeah. DLSS, I'm gonna put it back to ultra. I'll probably play at ultra ray tracing because if I hit 45, I think it's gonna be okay. But you gotta love this ray tracing. I mean, come on. This whole building is right here. It doesn't have that many details on this part, which kind of makes sense. You know, there's no lights on this part of the building, but you have those two floors having some lights on, and you can clearly see those in the reflection. And it's just looking gorgeous. Like, I love this ray tracing. I know that some people say it's not really that much of a big deal yet, but like, look at that light on this surface. You might not notice stuff after some point, but it's just because you've got used to it. And if you remove that, you'll immediately notice that something has changed in the game. It's not looking as good as it was. But yeah, so this is, I think, I'm gonna guess that you can get to 60 FPS, but you would be, with 4K, you would be getting, you have to sacrifice a few things depending on what are the things that you want to sacrifice. For example, the amount of details, still not changing it, so it's pretty kind of locked at around 50, changing most of the settings, and it depends on the environment. Like, I'm not that tech savvy about these things, so there could be that some of these stuff are not taking into effect at all because we are at a place that these are not really doing anything. For example, clouds. Let me see. Like, this is a clear sky. There's no cloud. What did break? That was a nice thing. Yeah, it's not gonna be that interactive. It was like... No, it is throwing those guys out, but not all of them. Like, there's... I think they're milk carton? Or these garbages are not doing anything.
Okay, you were saying...
Spare a veteran some change?
Oh, wow. You're a veteran today?
So you're a vet today, huh?
What can I say? War stories rake it in.
Okay.
Here, all yours.
So you start with 300.
God bless.
Exactly.
We also have a stamina in this game, but that's gonna... Ooh, hello, lady.
Got a seg.
Rough night. Know you? You can interact with a lot of people here. I'm trying to see... Oh, what? That's one of the things that the game was talking about. Sorry, the people that had reviewed the game, that some objects are floating around and stuff. So that's one of the weird things. And the phones keep moving, like, I think it's fixed kinda now. But I want to see someone from up close for the quality of the faces. And the lightning also looks a bit weird depending on what angle you're looking at. Like, look at that. The forehead. It's changing as I'm moving the camera around. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm not gonna bore you anymore. So there's not much to it, I think. So if you're planning on getting a 3080, you probably should stay a bit longer around to see other channels like Hardware Unbox or stuff trying this game on and try to optimize it, because, you know, that's their job. That's what they do for a living. And they know all about these stuff and what are the things that could be changed without affecting the game quality that much, but giving you some boost to your FPS. But you can hit 50 FPS without seeing much of a change in the game quality with DLSS and ultra ray tracing. Psycho will probably hit you hard. Yeah. It's gonna probably bring it down in crowded areas to 40 FPS. So you don't want to go that extensive.
I can pay it.
Ultra should be pretty amazing still. And everything else is almost at very high or ultra, and they should be okay. And some of these are not really affecting me much, so you can get a decent 50 FPS throughout, and probably at some point it's going to drop to 40, 45 if it's a crazy crowded shooting scene. But if that's the what do you say, with the DLSS, because with the DLSS off it was looking terrible. It was going back to 25, 30 FPS. So really have no idea how AMD cards are going to be holding up against this game. But as a last check, you know, I'm not going to ever be using that, but let's just go to 1440p. And whoa, it's looking pretty ugly. Let me see, go back to that character.
Exactly.
And not much of a change in here, but it's definitely, the image is definitely not as sharp as it was. But with the same setting, it's hitting easy, not easy, but around 70. So that was a 15 FPS from 4K to 1440p. But I myself am not going to be playing at 1440p. There's no reason for that. I would be more than happy to sacrifice a few FPS, even 20, but not a few, to go there. This is gonna look a bit too wide, and it's kind of the same. So not much of a change between those two resolutions. And back to 4K, which is looking better, and you get back to around 50. Anyway, so I hope it kind of gave you an idea of how 3080s are gonna look for this game. This is without any kind of overclocking or anything. The only thing I've done is just that I let the game draw as much as power as it wants from the power unit, and that's all I've done. And my GPU temperature, as you can see in the screen, is around 75, which is really not that bad. It's pretty good. And yeah, it's using 8 gigabytes of memory, but the CPU is not really that much utilized. A game like Watch Dogs uses like 90% to 100% of the CPU. And I'm also recording the game, so that's not really that much optimized. So would have liked to see that number much higher. At least like around 70-80% would be ideal, I would say. But yeah, let's see if there's gonna be any patches or anything that might improve the quality of the game, which I really doubt that because it's NVIDIA is sponsored, so everything related to the GPU is gonna be there already, at least for my graphic card. And for CPU, I'm not sure if there's gonna be any update, and yet I broke another glass. Anyway, please let me know if you're planning to buy a 3080 or you already have a 3080 and just waiting to take a look at this game and see if you like it or not, and if you're planning to buy an AMD card, because probably at 1440p it might still be better than NVIDIA, but with DLSS I kind of doubt that, and you can't really see the difference between DLSS on and off. So yeah, let me know what are your thoughts, if you have played the game, if you're looking to play the game, what GPU you're planning to buy or already have bought. And that's gonna be it for this video, and I'm gonna soon be back with the first hour of the actual gameplay without skipping all the conversations and everything. And yeah, so please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, and definitely hit the bell icon so when the gameplay becomes available, you get notified of that. Until the first hour of gameplay of Cyberpunk 2077, take care everyone.